Udemy changed their logo, and in this video, we're going to review that rebranding. Let's begin. Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alejandro. I'm a brand designer based in Costa Rica, and in this channel, I share with you everything related to brand design. So I don't know if you noticed, but Udemy changed their logo, and we're going to take a look at it. We're going to see, should they have changed their logo or not? So I'm gonna, of course, take a look at this with you. We're gonna share, I'm gonna show you some of the previous logos, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion about it. All right, so this is their new logo. At the first look, it looks really clean. It looks really polished. And I don't know if I'm just assuming that you know what Udemy is, right? But if you don't know, Udemy is this online academy where you can learn a lot of different things, and you can also become a teacher and share your knowledge there as well. So they are one of the very first online platforms to start, with this new learning model. And actually they started in 2008, 2010, and this is their first logo that they had. So as we can see, this is a really 2000 sort of logo where you can see that U there, which is kind of their symbol. It worked like their symbol, and they have this slogan, the Academy of You. So yeah, this is how they started back in 2010, and then in 2014 they changed their logo to something that it looks more simple, more modern, and as you can see, it's based more on typography other than just accessories or any sort of things. I believe that this is their best logo. They should not have changed this logo at all, because it's very correct from any point of view. When you have a name that short, then you have the opportunity to just work with the typography, just design with the typography. And that's what they had here. And if you needed this to be, kind of a symbol, something, smaller, like to be in favicon of a website or something like that, then you just take the U, put it into a square of color or not, or white or whatever, and there you go. You have your icon, and you can use that. So it's very flexible. The color green is vibrant enough. It's a little bit different from the previous one they had. You can see, I'm sorry, this one. It's a little bit more towards the yellow, and this is a little bit, I would say, a little bit more saturated and hard, and has a little bit more of blue on it. And also in 2017 they come up with this other logo. I honestly believe that this is I would not say it's the worst logo that they had, because of course the worst logo was the first one, but this is the second worst logo that they had, because look at the typography. Udemy, they started with a capital U, and then everything else is low caps. And what that does is that created a kind of a balance, or a disbalance, or an unbalance, or imbalance. I don't know. The whole weight of the word is to the left. And so that's what I mean. And so it doesn't feel like a good balance. And also when you see this symbol, it looks like two different logos, to be honest. It looks like the Udemy is one logo, and that U is another logo. So what they said that this logo represented is, and I'm quoting, represents the motion and flow of a person's life and learning. So yeah, they wanted to do something like more kind of free, more organic, and that's why they created this. But I think that they made a mistake. They should not have changed the color in here. So this whole rebranding was totally unnecessary. They already had, such a good logo, and they should have just kept that. But of course, there is a lot of details that we don't know, and there's a lot of circumstances that, of course, we don't know, that of course led them to make this type of decisions. So there's that, and then that's when they created this new logo in this month of July 2021, and so just analyzing the logo itself, I think is a huge. I mean, of course, this is an opinion based on the limited knowledge of the circumstances that I have. So, from my point of view, knowing like the circumstance, the very limited information that I know, I would say that this is a big mistake. Why? Well, because can you imagine how much they took to actually position this new logo in the minds of all the students, all the teachers, and we're talking that they have like millions and millions of students, and so they pretty much throw away all the brand equity that they have been building over these years, and they just created something completely from scratch. The only thing that they kept, it was just the name, and that's it. But then they changed the color, they changed the symbol, they get rid of that, more organic type of view, and they created a whole different thing. So I want to do two things. Well, first, I'm gonna take you guys to how they actually use this, their logos. So this is their first website that they had. I don't know if you have seen this before, but this is the first website that they used back in 2010. Very 2000s, where there was just a lot of information, and as you can see, the sides, the width is not is just adjusted to what most of the screens at that time offered. And so yeah, very, very narrow and very full of text, and as you can see, not sure if you can actually see my mouse, but up in the left hand right corner, no, like what did I say? It's like up in the left hand corner. I thought I said right. Oh, forget it. So in this corner, you can see the logo and how they used it, and so you can see how they actually combine that U with that accessory that was that background in green color. So this is a type of logo with an accessory, and the accessory would be the background, the green background, and as you can see in the favicon, it was very convenient to just use this as a favicon. So all the emphasis was in the U, and they put it like that, the Academy of U. But then they created this other website where, look at this logo. This is beautiful. I mean, I would not change too much about this logo. Maybe, I mean, yeah, no, it's a very good logo. It's very easily identifiable, because here's the thing: you are designing with the typography, with the typeface, and so as you can see, whole big change from coming from this to this. Now this is in the 2014, I guess, yeah, and now it's a whole different thing where it is very clean, and you start having these groups of courses, and the whole design just looks a little bit cleaner. And then in 2017 they launched this website, where you can see the new logo, their logo at the time, and you can see the colors. And I think, this is what I remember. Most of the brand, I remember it with this color scheme and with this design and all that. So I remember coming, I remember when they changed this logo to this other one. But I think in my mind, when I think about this academy, I think more on like this logo, this coral, like red coral. Okay, now this is their website now. As you can see, it's a total different website. and this is how they're using their logo, and it's really really similar. You get this familiar layout of the courses, but so it's like, yeah, you kind of get the vibe that they had before, but then you're getting these different things that they had, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, this is how their website looks like now. So and just take a look on how they're using the favicon. So this is kind of how they're using their brand, making it responsive. So this is how they resolve the favicon, making just a U very tiny. I don't know if you can actually see it because it's very small, but yeah, they're always been using the U, and look at it, just like 4 different things. So yeah, now what I wanted to do also is show you their presentation. This is their presentation on the rebrand that they made, and let's read a little bit of what they said. They say, as a platform made to connect instructors and leaders around the world, Udemy has always been about bringing people together. With our new brand, we're taking it a step further, from the way we speak to the way we look. So what this is telling me is that they are not only changing the visual identity, but they are changing the whole they're like, this looks like this is coming from a whole brand strategy that they just did for not only changing the visuals, but a lot of other elements of it. So it goes back to our mission to create new possibilities by opening knowledge to all for all. So I don't know about you guys, but like, tell me if this, talking about connecting people, then create new possibilities by opening knowledge to all, like, do you think that is not being achieved like with this logo? Do you think that they had to change the colors in order for them to position themselves as a more open or like a source of, you know, possibilities and all that? I don't think so. I think that they could have done that with the previous, even what they could have done is go back to like Burger King did, is like this new trend that is just going back to the roots, and they take like the good logo that they had. They could have done that with Udemy, with this previous logo, because I think this one is the best, in my opinion, of course. And so let's keep reading. It says, we know we made some pretty big changes. Yes, you got rid of all your brand equity, your old visual brand equity. But even though our look is different, our commitment to our community of leaders, instructors, and businesses remains the same. So this is like them like saying, okay, don't think that we changed this type of things. We keep that. So they say, and this is funny. This is actually very, very valuable for maybe you as a business owner, so you can understand what is actually valuable and what is not. And also you as a brand designer, I mean, this is so cool, because look at this. They say, whether you seek it or share it, knowledge is uplifting. Okay, cool. Yeah, knowledge is uplifting. Our logo captures that upward movement with an arrow, a universal symbol of growth. Yes, okay, cool. But why did you needed to change the logo to represent this kind of, you know, upward movement? I mean, a logo does not communicate that much information. So yes, I see an arrow. Yes, I see it's going up, but can I say, oh, so I see the logo of Udemy, now it has an arrow, so now I think that Udemy is a place for me to find uplifting knowledge? And no, I mean, is it okay to make your brand strategy fit with your visual brand identity? Yes, but you have to, when you do a rebrand for such a big business that has been such a long time in the market, you don't not only have to take into account the element of we need the brand strategy, matching the visual identity, we also need to take into account the brand equity. And that's what I think that they have not taken into account here, because they just got rid of everything. And I think they didn't have to do that. So it says we call ours the optic. So they actually put a name and everything. They need to do that? No, that's not necessary, but okay. And we use it to signify the inspiration and advancement of every learner, business, and instructor in our community. So this is good, in the sense that if you were creating an academy, an online academy from the beginning, and you have this concept where you need an arrow to signify the advancement of every learner, and and of course of the business and instructors and the community and all that. So it is good to design something, and of course that's pretty much the idea, to design something out of a solid concept, but again, without compromising the brand equity, which is another criteria that you have to take into account. So they created all this new color scheme, and again they just got rid of the color. They're just throwing away the green that it was. The color is also part of the brand identity. It's part of the essence of a brand. So when you just change the color, you're just changing one of the the most important elements that you use to identify that brand, and you lose an opportunity to actually claim that color within that marketplace. Let's say Coca-Cola, for instance, if they change their color to green now, you would have more issues to recognize them than if they just kept their color. So yeah, changing the logo that frequently is not a good idea, and changing the color that frequently is even worse. Now here is something interesting where they present the kind of the photography with feeling. They say photography with feeling, and I think that, for my style, it is a little bit dark. When you see the shades, it's a little bit dark and whatever. But maybe they're just trying to look more relatable and not that perfect, and just say like a regular student or as a regular teacher or whatever. But when you go back on how they are actually using that, you see that they are using this element. It has like a background. You see like this one, it has this background, and this one, it has this background. So when they are presenting the photography style, I think that they should also include a background, because that's also part of their style that they are using. So that's just like if you're presenting a brand identity system where you're including the photography style, and you're going to remove, one of the ways that you're going to use the photography is removing the background and adding a solid background instead, then you should present that along as well. So that's just one of the details. And then it's interesting that they say human stories. The photography. Here's where it says some moments aren't easily captured in words or photos. Or imaginative illustration style help us turn more complicated ideas into something clear and intuitive. So I think that they did this right, because I think one of the goals that they had with the whole rebrand is to kind of look modern, and more than modern, kind of look current. Like, yeah, we're in this game, we're in the competition, because before, they didn't have that many competition, but now we have a Skillshare, you have Domestika, you have Coursera, you have, there's a lot of places where you can subscribe or buy courses for very low prices, and so the competition now is bigger. And I think that one of the goals that they had with this rebrand is like saying, hey, look at us, we're still in the game, we're relevant. So one of the ways that they achieve that is by using one of the current trends, which is using this type of illustrations where you can see small heads, big arms and feet, and and legs. And so this is using this type of things is good, because here is where it is okay to use, and of course in my opinion, to use like trends, because you can use secondary graphics to kind of like let the brand have like a modern, like a current type of vibe. But so this can change. So in 2 years, 3 years, the trend is completely different. They're not using illustrations anymore. This looks like very old. And so yes, you change it. That's totally fine. You can change these visual illustrations, and you can look current now with the new trend. I don't know, let's say that now is 3D, the thing that is cooler. I don't know. So yeah, you can change that, but what you should not be changing all the time is, for instance, things like the logo, the color, and the name of the brand, and those type of things. You should not change them because of trends. But this is pretty cool. This is very trendy, and this is the type of resources that when you look at it and you look at how they're using these resources, yeah, it looks good, it looks modern, and it's appropriate in my opinion. And when you combine illustrations, when you combine photos, and you combine this secondary graphics, you get this very, very modern looking style that they are going with. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much their justification for the new brand identity that they have going on. All right, guys, that was my opinion on the rebrand of Udemy. Let me know what you think about this branding in the comments below. If you like the video, please give it a like. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, never allow fear to steal your happiness. Bye.